Got a new keto recipe for you. This is my protein bars, homemade protein bars, ketogenic, low carb way of eating. It's all over the web. I've talked about it. The premise is to keep insulin low. You can always look it up. So I get a lot of questions or a lot of requests for this recipe for my protein bars. And they're pretty easy to make. It's a little bit of a cleanup, but overall it's they're delicious. They're low carb. I think the total is about 2.8 net carbs, and a net carb is when you take the total carbohydrate. Look at the back. It's going to say the total carbohydrate. You ignore the sugars because that's factored in. Total carb minus your fiber, and you're going to get your net. Some people will say if there's a sugar alcohol like erythritol, maltitol, sorbitol, xylitol, to take half of that number and subtract only half of that. I subtract all of my sugar alcohol to get my net. So total minus the fiber. If there's a sugar alcohol, subtract it. That's the net. I do about 50 net a day. That is my goal anyways. As many days as I can. So the original recipe only called for 4 ingredients, which is on meat-free keto, and it's called their low-carb peanut butter cheesecake protein bars. I'm having a cheat because this is a lot of info. The thing is, I'm going to recommend a few items. I do not get paid yet, at least as of this time. Of course, I would not turn down money, but I'm doing this for fun. And it's much easier to give somebody a link to the recipe than it is to write it down. So I'm going to recommend a couple of things and a couple of people that have helped me find some of these products that go into this. The Weight Club in Blacksburg, to my friends who live around here, they sell this protein powder. Not just any protein powder will do. One of my friends used a vegan, clean protein powder, and it actually crumbled. She could not get the consistency right. So I find that if I use, this is called Core Nutritionals. It used to look like this. And they changed it. Not only did they change the container, but they changed the recipe. They changed the formula. It's got 1 less carb than it did before. This is a fantastic, they've now called it Death by Chocolate. So this is Core Nutritionals. This is the guy that runs, this is his company. His name is Doug Miller. You can follow him on Instagram. He's a natural bodybuilder. I like his line because he does more than just this. I like his line because he eats it. He utilizes his own product, so it's not just some garbage that a company is skimming off the top and adding all these fillers and all this junk to make a buck. So on top of that, if you are into bodybuilding, there's another guy that I'm going to recommend on Instagram. His name is Kurt Widener. It's KURT_WEIDNER. And Kurt is also a natural bodybuilder, and he actually recommended this line to me. He gave me a couple of samples one day when I was at the gym, and I've loved it ever since. Fantastic line. So let's get to it. My ingredients, I soup it up a little bit. Mine's a little different than what you're going to see on the meat-free keto. So let's start. Okay, I think I have gotten all the beginning stuff. Food processor, not the Ninja that I love so much. The meat-free keto they say use only a partial block. I'm not doing that. If I'm going to go through this effort, I'm going to use everything. So I started with a whole thing of cream cheese. I like Philadelphia cream cheese. I know it's more expensive. I get mine from Sam's, saves tons of money. There's only a couple of ingredients. If you look at the cheaper stuff, there's a whole bunch of other extra, like guar gum or carrageenan or some junk in there. So this is just pure and clean, 1 block, Philadelphia cream cheese. Next thing you know, or you're gonna do, is the protein powder. I do 5 scoops of the protein powder. And I'm just gonna pour the 5 scoops straight in. Here's one of my additional things that I've added to increase bulk and add the flavor in another dimension is PB Fit. They make it sugar-free. I don't know if it's sugar-free, maybe, but I do 2 of the scoops that come in here. So the PB Fit, watch out if you do too much PB Fit, it will get crumbly. Remember what I said about the other protein powders? So I just like the extra peanut butter flavor. So far we have 1 block of cream cheese, 5 scoops of your protein powder, 2 scoops of PB Fit, and then later is going to come up some other ingredients, but the reason I'm not mixing them all at the same time is because one of the other ingredients that I like is crunchy peanut butter, and I like that texture of the peanut butter added. And I just remembered something I forgot. This is a new item. Okay, we shall return. All right, we're back. I've lately been adding Lily's chocolate chips to this. Depending on which Lily's you get, because it's a stevia erythritol. Is there erythritol? I know there's definitely yes, there's stevia and erythritol in here. These are both low carb sweeteners, and depending on which kind you get, affects, like the darker chocolates, the less carb, obviously. I pour these in at the end. If I put it in here, they will crunch up, and you don't really get that additional flavor and texture to it. So here we go. We're gonna blend it until it turns into a ball. It's gonna be loud. And make sure you're taking longer than usual. Where's my stuff? Oh, here. Be really careful about over mixing, well, when you get in the bowl, because for some reason one time I over mixed and everything separated. Okay, I don't know why this is giving me problems, but it is. This should do it. Every once in a while I run into this. Food processor is a bad habit. To those of you who know me, of course this is giving me grief the one time I taped this. My food processor has been through a lot. I'm also not used to this new Core Pro, so that's fine. We're just gonna go with it. It looks pretty mixed for the sake of arguments. So in here now we have a couple more items. The lowest, I'm pretty sure I've compared them all. The lowest peanut butter that I have, carb peanut butter that I have found is this Kroger's Natural. It's something like, I don't know, go look. I do about, how many do I do? I usually eyeball this stuff, I just throw it in. But about 4.5 carbs or 5 tablespoons. So 5 tablespoons of this, and I have recently found that you can get this on Amazon. I also know there's a store in Roanoke called The Vitamin Shop, I think, and they sell it too. It's a little pricey, but this is wonderful. It's called Legendary Foods, and this is ketogenic, and it's this one's, I like it. It's the chocolate banana flavored peanut spread, and there's like a crispiness to it. It's just amazing. There's erythritol in it. So I basically split them. I do I do a big old blob, or about, how much did I do for this one? 4 tablespoons of this one. So far, we got a block of cream cheese. We got 5 scoops of protein powder. We've got 2 scoops of PB Fit. We have the legendary peanut spread. They have several different kinds. It's up to you. And I did 4 tablespoons of that and the Kroger natural peanut butter. Goodness gracious. And this did not make the ball, which probably made my food processor happy, because when it does, it acts like it's gonna die, and then it emits this smell like the rubber, whatever was rubberized in there, the band or something, starts to make this smell like it's like not smoking, but that it's about had it. I go ahead and I just do a handful of Lily's chocolate chips. 8 minus 4 minus 3, and the total is 26 chips. I think it equates to, like, off the top of my head, maybe 2 grams. I'm not sure. Now I really feel like I'm forgetting something. And then remember, don't overmix. Now, you can, if you decide that you think that the consistency is still too wet. This is actually looking really good. If the consistency is too moist for you and you want to add more protein powder, like I said, don't overmix, but you can do that. You can kind of make those adjustments. Oh goodness. Yeah. Takes a little elbow grease. Amy's Keto Kitchen. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm gonna continue this and we'll just splice it. All right, at this point, you get this blob. And this is the part that's taken me some time to get used to, is rolling it out to the right thickness. If you roll it too thin, it's gonna be these long pieces and they're gonna be kind of floppy. I recommend refrigerating this for the batch, but I like these because I can grab them and go, and it can stay in my purse or my car, or and something like that, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It can be out for a while. 2 pieces of parchment paper. Ideally, I want 8 pieces, or, well, yeah. I guess I can make them kind of on the long side and cut them in half. Yeah, I can do that. But thick, go thick. Go thick or go home. All right, getting cheesy, it's time for bed. Let's take a look at that. Okay, maybe a little too thin on this one side. You can play with it. All right, what I do now is I put this on a cookie sheet that fits into my freezer. And then I freeze it for a little while, just enough so that when I cut it, it'll be hard and take a shape, and then I can wrap it up in little individual, I take parchment paper and I cut them into, I don't know, sheets like this, then I'll wrap it up. I'll do a couple later after this is done. All right. I think that's it. I'm maybe missing something. I don't think so. And see you in a little bit. Okay, you may notice a little bit of a dressing change. I got sick of that wardrobe malfunction of my clothes separating. So welcome back, we're done. Just about. So this only took like an hour. I probably could have pulled it out earlier. It just needs to be enough that I can cut it. Okay. I want 8 pieces. Theoretically, that's what I want. So sometimes you can kind of sort of cut little lines and see if that makes 8 without cutting through. And these are going to be thinner but thicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know, we'll see. This new protein powder is amazing. I gotta try it. I already know. Yep. Looks like that. So good. And then usually what I'll do is I'll have like half that, and I'll just wrap it up. What else can I say? Make sure you put them all in a plastic bag and zip it, because if you take several days to eat all of them, then they dry out. That's that. Protein bars. I think this is long enough, don't you? Until we meet again. Till I come up with something else. Hope you enjoyed my video.